From the 99th Annual Ohio Farm Bureau's annual meeting, I have the pleasure of visiting now with Chris Weaver of Williams County. Chris is a trustee, and we want to get into the responsibilities of what all the trustees do. But first of all, Chris, welcome, and I'd like to ask you, can you describe what the family operation is back home?
Yeah, so the family operation in Williams County is mainly dairy farms. We milk 3,000 cows and farm corn, grain, beans, and wheat, and alfalfa, kind of like the rest of us. We farm about 5,000 acres, so we're pretty busy up there in the northwest of Ohio.
Now, dairy has its own set of challenges apart from what some of the other farm operations are doing. What might some of those be, and how do you get past some of those challenges?
Well, obviously, as soon as I guess the first thing I would say is that when you bring a living animal or living being into the situation, there's a lot more science and medicine and veterinary care that we deal with, and we have highly educated staff. But then also in today's world, especially in the Lake Erie watershed, a key component is water quality and paying attention and making sure that we're doing the best we can to the environment, managing our manure in an appropriate way, getting it out there at the right time, and really protecting the environment. And I think sometimes that's a misconception that us farmers all understand, that we really believe and want to take care of the environment because we live in the environment. And I'd say, especially this time of year as we're trying to get things wrapped up for the fall, that manure management is probably the number one thing we're worried and paying attention to. So.
Of course, with the water quality, that's been in the news the last 2, 3, 4 years, and so farmers are one of the components of making that water quality the best it can possibly be.
Yeah, that is exactly right. We're stewards of millions, I believe, of acres in our region, and while we can't control everything, we can work really hard to be stewards of that water quality that the city of Toledo deals with, or the people along the Maumee River deal with as well. So.
Well, now, Chris has been a trustee for around 4 years. Chris, what does a trustee for the Farm Bureau do?
So a trustee, there's 26 trustees for the state of Ohio, and each trustee has 4 counties, but then there are also 4 other trustees that are regional trustees. And we, as a trustee, we really are supposed to bring back information from our local counties and come to the state board and help, develop policy and figure out how we're going to educate others and just do the best we can for our local farmers at the state level. We will help them also, assist them at the local level with any political and educational things they need. But it's really an interaction between the state and the local.
I guess that's what the grassroots does to make the organization itself so in tune with what's happening at the local level.
I'm glad you brought grassroots up, because I would say that's exactly right. And Farm Bureau has such an awesome and incredible grassroots program, and just exemplified by this meeting and the 330 people that are here bringing ideas and working together. And then we have this one event, but throughout the year there's always things going on, and how do we communicate and make sure the state's pushing the issues that are necessary. And it's a really neat organization to be involved in, and be at my level and being able to interact with both state, local, and even a little bit on the federal side.
I suppose it's a thrill for you to take some really good ideas from the local level, from the people that you see more often, and then when the trustees get together, you become educated with different parts of the state.
The first year I was on, I'm used to Northwest Ohio, and every year there's some issue that I'm like, oh, wow, we have to deal with that in Ohio. Oil and gas was one. You just never had an imagination of that. And then you have the issues going on the South. And, yeah, it really opens your eyes to how different the issues are for farmers, for all farmers across the state, and how my issue may be totally opposite another farmer's issue, but we can work together and come up and create policy that really works for all of us.
And then I suppose, too, then when you have successes like CAUV this past year, that has to make you satisfied and really excited about being in an organization that sort of spearheads some of the policy.
Exactly. CAUV is something that we've been working on for years at different levels and protecting more than anything, because it's a great program for farmers. And I think it's easy to forget that if we're not out there protecting it, there's a lot of other people that would like to see that go away. And to see Farm Bureau's strength, political strength, and just strength in numbers. When we had calls for people to call in and talk to their senators, thousands of people's called in, and that's what grassroots is about, the power of the members. And it was exciting to see that happen last year.
And it's sort of interesting and exciting from those folks looking in from the outside to see not only those farmers with experience as trustees and on the board, but also some of the younger farmers getting involved. And you have a broad range of experience, a broad range of ideas.
Broad range of experience, ideas, and sizes and depth and who we are. I think sometimes you hear on the street that Farm Bureau is just big farmers, and yeah, I'm a large farmer, but we have a beekeeper, we have a person that has 50 beef cows. We variety that I never have imagined would be in Ohio, and it's just neat to be in that world and the variety of expertise.
We've been visiting with Chris Weaver, a trustee from Williams County. Chris, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And stay with us. Back with more right after this.